It's showtime.
Hey there everybody, so I'm going to go ahead and prep my skin. I'm going to go ahead and use the Makeup Forever Flash palette after that and use the white in there and go ahead and blank out my entire canvas. After I do this, I am going to set my skin with a powder. I did not show the powder because I bought it from Walmart and I honestly forgot to film it. But it's just a regular face powder. It doesn't have to even be a face powder. It can be a white eyeshadow. But definitely set your skin if you're oily. That I have to do that because I'm super duper oily, but just thought I'd mention that. I did also want to say make sure that you're bringing your white all the way down to your neck. Wherever skin is going to be exposed, make sure it's covered. That way it looks seamless and believable that you're the character that you are. Don't forget to do your ears as well if your hair is going to be kind of waving around in the wind or whatever. Just so that way it all blends together. So I'm going to go ahead and take some of the green from the palette. I'm going to start stippling that on my skin, but also taking it down a lot, just around my hairline where BeetleJuice normally has his rotting flesh. Once you pretty much have it laid down where you want it, I'm just taking a really fluffy blending brush that has some of the white bristles on the end so that way you can stipple it. That way it's kind of blending it into your hairline, also kind of blending it out so that way it looks like you have some texture going on top of your forehead, especially in the areas, like I said, where it's showing that it's rotting. That way you can see it so it looks like it's kind of like just rotting away. But I mean, again, I'll do a comparison. I'll put the photo right next to itself and you can see that there's a little bit of the texture in there. Of course, the look that I'm going for is a little bit different than the actual look that they did for the movie. This is a little bit more of theatrical makeup and is going to be just a little bit more of a fun way to do it and a little bit easier way of to do it, but it also just allows you with the stippling technique to see some dimension in there and some other contrast going on, as well as just some detail work as well. So I'm going to take the 35S palette, go ahead and start doing our eyes. Taking that purple, I'm just going to go ahead and do basically the whole lid, as well as just blending it out everywhere. Your whole eye is going to be purple, but I'm going to be putting a couple different purples in there. Just going to go ahead and continue doing this right here, and I will show you the next purple in a minute. So before I do the other purple, I wanted to do this real quick. I needed to blend out the lines a little bit more so that way it looked like it was actually fading and making the eye look dead, like black eyes. So I'm just kind of blending that out with an actual stippling brush. I can't speak apparently, but an actual stippling brush, what I used with some of the white to blend some of it out. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the darker purple, the more royal purple if you will, in the outer V of my eye to add a lot more depth and make it look like they're a lot more sunken in. So I'm just going to be placing that in the outer V and kind of blending it throughout the whole eye. Again, I want them to look a little bit more sunken in, but I want it to look like a pretty sunken in eye. So I'm just taking a little bit more of that lighter purple that we used and just blending that out a little bit more and meshing it well together. Just blend it until your heart's content. Blend it until you are happy with it. So I'm just taking a little bit more of that stippling brush and just fading out the edges so that way it looks like it's sinking in a little bit more. I'm just going to blend a little bit with my fingers. I'm going to take a little bit more of the darker purple here in a minute, and I'm just going to actually add it and just make it look a little bit more rich and a little bit more vibrant. Go ahead and do your under eyes, of course, don't forget those. I'm going to take that lavender shade that I just showed you guys. It kind of has a gray sheen to it, so I'm using that on my inner third of my eyelid, mainly just so that way it diffuses those purples and makes my eyes look a little bit more sunken in, which is exactly what I want. I want to look a little bit more dead, so go ahead and do that. Do what you feel looks best, of course, though. I'm just going to diffuse the rest of that and come back to you with the rest of the makeup. I'm I'm going to go ahead and start stippling that green into my cheekbones. Do the same thing that you did in the motion of how we did it on your forehead. Do it down there as well. I am putting a little bit more detail though into my cheekbones because you can see that a lot more. So take your time with that one and blend that one out really well, of course. I'm also going to be putting this in my ears in a minute, but go ahead and finish that off and blend until your heart's content. Again, I left a lot of the detail in there because I'm going to be going in and putting a little bit more. I'm also going to be taking this and putting it on the other side the same way, as well as bringing some of it down my neck and doing a little part of it right next to my mouth. So go ahead and take an actual blending brush. This is just a 217 from MAC. I'm putting some brown in it to break up a lot of that green and make it look a lot more dirty, like rotting flesh would be. So go ahead and put that where you want. I'm just kind of stippling it out throughout and just blending it out, kind of leaving a lot of those little dots. That way you can see the texture in it again. But do it throughout the whole thing. I'm going to do it in all the spots where I have green. I'm going to go ahead and take that emerald like green right there. I'm going to go ahead and start patting that around like we were stippling before, but with a flat defining brush. This is going to allow it to get a little bit more pigment in the area, as well as make it look like it has a little bit more contrast in the skin. You're going to be blending it together, so it's going to help diffuse those colors and make the contrast look a lot better with the dimension that you're adding with doing this. So go ahead and keep patting it wherever you need it. I am going to be bringing it down onto my neck as well, giving those areas of the rotting flesh a little bit more contrast as well. I'm going to be putting a little bit of black eyeshadow in my eyebrows just to kind of make them look a little bit more messy, a little bit fuller as well, and make them like how his were. His were just kind of black and kind of messy, so that's really just kind of the look I'm going for. After that, you want to go ahead and just block out your entire lips with white. Go ahead and do that and powder over them to blend everything in and set them. And then I'm going to go ahead and just throw on some mascara and some false eyelashes, and that will be the look complete. And you'll see me back with my hair done and everything done. That is the look complete, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like it if you did, and subscribe if you're not already. I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video. I hope you guys have a good rest of your week. I will see you later. Bye.